joining us for today's Small Business Boot Camp. I'm Robert Theobald, Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services here at the Arizona Commerce Authority, and we're glad to have you with us this Tuesday morning. As we like to do, we like to start by asking everyone to post up in the chat where you are tuning in from. We love to see where throughout Arizona and sometimes beyond Arizona's borders we have our participants from. So it's always fun to see that. So I see we've got Jill from Prescott, Queen Creek, Scottsdale, Glendale, Scottsdale, Page, Chandler, Gilbert, Tempe, Tucson, Peoria, Mesa, Queen Creek, Mesa, Phoenix, another Gilbert. Oro Valley, awesome. India, all right. Got some international attendees. Tucson. Excellent. Well, thank you all of you for joining. Again, if you're just joining now, please post in the chat where you're tuning in from. We like to see where from throughout the state you might be tuning in from or beyond. So thank you for doing that. So let's jump right in. For those that are new to the Small Business Bootcamp, we like to thank our community partners first. We could not do these webinars and workshops without their time, their effort, and their expertise. They give back to the community to help to run these, and we appreciate that quite a bit. For those that are new also, the Small Business Bootcamp is designed to help small businesses prepare, plan, and grow their business. And we know that not everyone can make it on a Tuesday morning, and so we record all of our virtual sessions and we post those in our content library, and there's no cost to access the over 300 recorded webinars and workshops that are in there. So it's a great resource. I hope you continue to leverage it, and look forward to some other great sessions that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. The ACA also has a number of other tools, so you can scan this QR code and it'll take you to our programs page. But on our programs that we provide for Arizona's businesses, we have stuff for manufacturing, small business, innovation, entrepreneurship, rural economic development, international trade, training and talent and training, tax relief and incentives. There's a number of great programs you can find there at that QR code or at azcommerce.com/programs. One of those programs is our small business checklist. We always like to talk about this because most of you are either getting started, just got started, or expanding your business, and you may want to know what the commonly requested licensing, registration, and compliance requirements are at the local, state, and federal levels. And this checklist can help you do that and much more. There's two parts to the checklist. The QR code will take you to it. But on the checklist, you have a very simplified list where you check the box and it'll give you a ton of detailed information. Or you can type in a question and ask Sally, our virtual assistant. And Sally is also trained on the checklist, and she can give you an answer from that information as well. They both work hand in hand to get you the most information available. Some other programs to help support small businesses. We just kicked this off yesterday, is the ABC's Academy. You can register for sessions 2 and 3 on our website. We'll post the links for those in the chat. Session 2 is going to be talking about business planning and the business model canvas. So take a look at that. It's an exciting program we're doing in collaboration with SCORE, who's providing the presentations for those. Also, our Small Business Digital Academy, our spring cohort applications just opened yesterday. And so if this is something that you're interested in, it's a entry-level digital 101 type class, 3-week class that will help you understand the digital basics that you face as a small business owner. Today's presenter for the boot camp is also one of our expert mentors in the Digital Academy. So we hope you can join us for that. And then we also want to mention that one of our partners, Prestamo CDFI, is doing a number of funding your business classes and workshops throughout the state. You can scan that link. It'll take you to their events page. This is part of the state small business credit initiative program that we are running for the federal government for Arizona. And so this is a great opportunity to learn about that program. So with that, let's jump in and look at our upcoming boot camp sessions that we have over the next 3 weeks. So we have how to avoid the top 10 legal mistakes that can destroy your business. I encourage everyone to watch that. That's one of the best webinars we do to help you understand many different parts of your business when it comes to structuring it correctly, being prepared so when you want to sell it or pass it to family members, etc. So really, that's one of my favorite ones. And then see how AI is transforming email and social media marketing, and then building trust and authenticity and an AI-focused approach. We all know that AI is important, so you're going to see a lot more AI sessions throughout the year and how it can help your business be more efficient and how you can leverage the growth of that technology. So with that, we're going to jump into today's speaker. We have Giselle Aguiar, who is the founder of the AZ Social Media Wiz. She's been a partner of ours on both the boot camps and the Digital Academy for many years. She helped us start the Digital Academy and has been part of that since the beginning. And so we are glad to have her with us. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let Giselle take over. And while she's getting set up, just a reminder that for questions, because we know you'll have some questions, please post those in the Q&A at the bottom of your screen. And then we can use the chat for other back and forth responses that Giselle may ask.
Okay, while I'm getting all this together here, I'd like to know, and you can post it in the chat, how many of you have Google Analytics on your website? It's yes, no, or I don't know, or not yet. So just to get an idea, because we're going to be talking about that today. I'll lose it. All right. The chat. Yes, not yet. I don't know. Not yet. Seeing a lot of yeses, which is good. Okay, well, we're going to talk about how important it is. That's one of the things.
Hey, Giselle, you're not in presentation mode on your screen.
I'm not. Okay, oops. All right.
There you go.
There we go. All right. So, okay. Oh, so I've been doing internet marketing for 30 years. In fact, April will be my 30th anniversary when I first started my company in 1995. And I remember when Yahoo and Google both were born as ways to index websites so that people could easily find information. Incidentally, Yahoo came first in 1995, and Google came along 3 years later. And I'm preparing a special 30-year history digital marketing, hopefully to launch by April. So you can get on my email list. I'll have a QR code, and you can do that to make sure, or follow me on social media. Well, 13 years ago, I started AZ Social Media Wiz when I saw a need to train and help business owners get started and improve their digital marketing efforts and make them effective. So today I'll be covering how to create quality content and what you need to do to get your content to rank on Google. So Google still owns search. Okay, these are the latest global statistics as of last December. As you can see, Google still holds close to 90% of all search traffic. Google's goal is to give the searcher exactly what they're searching for. Basically, Google wants fresh, helpful, relevant content, quality content, written for the human reader in natural language. And that gives you search engine optimization. So what's important for Google? Okay, so we're going to start with the on the upper right with the largest piece of the pie and go clockwise through this. And I'm going to cover each of these things through here. So at 23%, which is the largest, most important, is consistent publication of engaging content. Yes, that's exactly what you think it is. If you stop creating content, Google is going to think you fell off the face of the earth. So it'll think your website is stagnant and ignore it. Okay, next, we have 14% keywords in meta title tags. Okay, again, I'll be talking about this. 13% backlinks, 13% niche expertise, 12% user engagement. That's to have a good user engagement, you need good user experience and user interface, the UX and UI. I'll talk about that. 6% freshness, 5% mobile-friendly website, and I'll explain that next. And the last ones are trustworthiness, link distribution, diversity, which is the variety of places where your backlinks are found, page speed, site security, and internal links. So you see, everything works together, and Google weighs some factors more than others, but they're still important. And the idea is to implement all of these for optimum optimization. All right. So is mobile a factor? Okay, look at your, this is where Google Analytics is really important. Okay, so you want to see what devices your website's visitors use the most. On WordPress websites, there's a free plugin called Google Site Kit. In fact, if you've had Google Analytics running, but you haven't really installed it on your website, if it's been, as soon as you install a Site Kit in there, it'll actually start giving you data. And so this is, this is my chart for my business, for my website. But as a B2B business, the majority of visitors are on desktop, which makes sense. Now, this is a client of mine who has a B2C tourism business, and the majority of her visitors come from mobile, which means that makes a lot of sense, okay? Because she runs, in fact, she was in the last digital academy. She runs a tour company who does hiking in the slot canyons up in northern Arizona. And so figure that. Okay, so it's critical that her website loads quickly on mobile devices, and this is an important factor for anybody who's into travel, tourism, and restaurants. Okay, restaurants are important. Okay, so however, Google in general prioritizes the mobile version of your website for indexing and ranking. So ensure your site is mobile friendly, and because it's essential for SEO success. All right, so we're going to talk SERPs. Okay, what is a SERP? Well, it's an acronym, and we got lots of acronyms all over the place here. So it's an acronym for Search Engine Results Page. Okay, so almost 50% of all SERPs are coming up with what's called AI overviews. Okay, so they're not going away, but then, like everything Google, is always evolving. Okay, so this is a sample SERP for best treatment for acne scars. Okay, it is generated by, you guessed it, the artificial intelligence, AI, and it attempts to answer the question or query. So notice it gives you a lot of information. The problem with this is that it pushes down paid ads. It takes up a lot of space on the top of the results page, and the organic links. So the searcher has to crawl down past the AI overview to get both paid and organic choices. Your organic traffic is directly tied to your search engine ranking positions in the SERPs. Hey, if your keywords rank at or near the top of Google search results, you'll get boundless traffic to your website. Conversely, a lack of visibility in the SERPs will leave your site struggling to attract organic traffic. Organic means non-paid. Okay, obviously you can always do paid advertising. That kind of gets expensive. Now, but let's take a better look at this. Okay, so notice these links. These AI generated boxes. Okay, you've got, notice the logos. Okay, these logos are the favicons, which appear in your browser tab. Okay, this is your logo that's uploaded when you're setting up your website. You can always add it later if you haven't done it, but it's part of your branding. Okay, notice the names. So where do you think Google gets their informative content? Look, it even tells you, from sources across the web. And there's more. So what's the trick? How do you get your informative content to come up in these AI overviews? Now, according to Search Engine Journal, which is one of my favorite SEO sources, 55% of links are sites that also appear in the top 10 organic, again, non-paid listings. Also, at this time, AI overviews, do not appear on Google Analytics or other SEO tools. They're really, really new. Nevertheless, more than likely, they'll be counted as impressions. Impressions are every time your link or from your website appears in front of a searcher in the results page. Okay, and click-throughs. Click-throughs are in the Google Search Console. Now, I'll get to that later. So a click-through is when somebody sees your information on, on the search result page and actually clicks on the link to go visit your website. But think of it this way: a query is just a question, and the answer is never a web page. The answer is generally a passage within a web page. So content is still king, okay, and it still works. So you need to create original, fresh content if you want to drive more potential customers to your website, grow your following on social media, and increase conversions, which this is really the bottom line. You want more sales or you want to generate leads. And you also want to be known as an expert in your field or industry. So what do you need to do? So you need to create good quality, helpful content, right? And so that could be written in blogs, articles, ebooks, white papers, etc. Visual, videos, graphics, slideshows, webinars, and of course, paid ads. And then audio, which are just podcasts or interviews. Okay. Video and audio podcasts can become blogs simply by embedding the video or audio podcast and summarizing with bullet points. You can even take the transcript and that becomes your blog post. And Google loves to index text. All right. EAT, E-E-E-A-T. So Google added a new E back in 2023 to their criteria for ranking high in search results, making it EAT. Okay, so remember that. What do these stand for and why are they important? So the new one is experience, and this is something AI can't provide. Your personal experience on a subject. Do you, as the content creator, have the necessary firsthand or life experience for the topic? Then expertise. Does the material showcase your expertise? Does the author have a high level of knowledge or skill? Now, what's the difference? Okay, so somebody can be, a college graduate and be an expert in whatever the field is. Okay, but they don't have the experience yet. But then somebody with 30 years of experience is it's in there. Plus, they've got the expertise, knowledge. They're constantly learning, and they know what's going on in their industry or field. Okay, authority. This is a topic that is this topic often covered on the website. Okay, are you the go-to person on this subject? Is this the original article, or has it been published elsewhere? Okay, and this is important. Now, I have a client, bless your soul. So she writes for an external publication that's a print publication, but they also have an online magazine. So the article has been published first on this magazine's website. So then she sends it to me, and so she pays me to put the article on her website because it's just she takes her too long to do it. So, but I said, wait a minute, you're losing authority here because on your website, because they got authority because it was published there first. You got to do it the other way around. You need to publish it first on your website, then send it to them. Okay, because you're the author and you need the authority. So you gotta remember that. Okay, and the last one is trustworthiness. Is the information provided correct? Can you trust it? Are you legit or a fly-by-night operation? And believe me, there's a lot of fly-by-night operations out there. Is your page accurate, honest, safe, and reliable? So make sure your contact information is updated. Have you cited sources when needed? Is your website secure? People buy from whom they know and trust. All right, so what are you going to blog about? Okay, so good quality content is unique and of interest to your target market. So you're going to talk about obviously your expertise and experience, trends, industry news, interviews, commentaries, testimonials, hypothetical situations like don't let this happen to you, reviews of products or books, etc., whatever's relevant in your business. Then you're going to talk about benefits, advice, and answer questions and solve problems. Frequently asked questions. Every business has frequently asked questions. They usually put them all on one page on their website. But each of those questions can be developed into blog articles, and then from the frequently asked, from the FAQ page, you link it to those blog articles, you know, and so that becomes a link within your website, and you're showcasing your expertise a little bit more on that. And then tell stories. And I tell, and this is important, especially to nonprofit organizations. If you're out there, or if you volunteer with one or support one, tell stories, tell stories, tell stories, even in your business. Okay, this is where your expertise and experience comes out, when you can tell stories of happy camper customers, you know? And so sometimes you won't get a testimonial per se, but you know the story. So you don't have to use their real names or locations or anything. Just said, you know, I have a client that did this, and this, and they did what I told them to do. And look, these were their results. You know, so, and then, of course, AI can help you generate content ideas if you're stumped. And I'll get into that in a minute. Okay, so crafting your message. Okay, so one of the things is you have to know who you're trying to reach. Okay, so once you know that, and I offer a free Define Your Target Market workbook, and we'll have the QR code at the end. But you want to once you know who you're trying to reach, you want to craft your message. You want to put an enticing headline, and this is also your meta title tag. Okay, and I'll get into more details on this in a little bit. But these tips will help no matter what type of content you're creating, whether it's video or if it's blogs, because even if you're doing a YouTube video, the title tag is very important. You gotta, and so you entice your potential customer with a good headline. Then you need to grab and keep their attention. On a blog, it's the first paragraph. On a video, it's the first 15 seconds. And then you've got the meta description. So the meta description, so there's two meta tags on your website that are important. It's the title tag and the meta description. And I'll get into details in a minute. Deliver on the headline. Okay, nothing's worse than clickbait. So you click on a headline and it's not what you expect. And that hurts you in every way possible. People will stop following you. Talk to your target audience, write for your audience. Now you have to you have to know them. So if you're in a tech industry and you're talking to experts in your field, you want it's okay to talk at their level. But if you're trying to reach the average public, they usually go easy on the industry jargon. Is what I was going to say. Okay. Share, don't sell. Don't sound too salesy. You've got their attention. What do you want them to do next? So here's where that enticing offer comes in, the call to action. Okay, always put a call to action at the the bottom of a blog, at the end of a video, at the end of a podcast, whatever you're doing. What do you want them to do? You've had their attention. So that's the next thing. All right, let's talk AI. Now I'm just going to cover two of the AI tools that are out there, because there's more coming up, and I just don't have time to go into them. These are the ones I've been using, so these are the ones I know the best. So here's some of the pros and cons of using AI. Now, Copilot is found on Bing, and it's the ChatGPT Pro version, which is more updated than the free ChatGPT. Okay, but it's free to use through on the Bing side, which is owned by Microsoft. Okay, Gemini is Google's AI tool, but it's the newest and it's still evolving. And remember, they are just that, tools. Now, some of you may remember okay, you've been around for a while, when you had to write a term paper back in school that you're not supposed to copy references verbatim, word for word. For my generation, it was the encyclopedia, which for you youngsters, these were volumes of big books that we used before Wikipedia was available. And well, the same goes for AI. So first, let's cover what's good about AI. It saves a lot of time, and I've been using it, and it's amazing. So one of my clients was adding a page to her health and wellness site on massage therapy, and she gave me a long list of 30 benefits, but that wouldn't do. I need more. So I went to ChatGPT and entered, what is massage therapy? In a matter of seconds, less than a minute, I had a rather detailed description. I was like, that was like one of my first times using it, and I was like, whoa. It will improve your writing efficiency. AI tools can help bloggers write faster and more efficiently by providing suggestions for content, grammar, and style. These tools can also automate tasks such as proofreading and editing, saving valuable time. So if you're saying, oh, I'm not a good writer, okay, but so yeah, you can tell Copilot Gemini to do it. So recently, I wanted to write a blog article for a client on the Navajo Code Talkers, and I asked Copilot, please write a 300 to 500 word article on the history of the Navajo Code Talkers of World War II. Boom! In seconds, I had exactly that. Now I had to go through it and edit it a bit, and I happen to know that there's one Navajo code talker still alive, but because they didn't give me that, but I know that he's got a website and a YouTube video. So so I added that to it, so that makes it having a little human interaction in there. But it came out really nice. It was like, no, I could have spent a couple of hours doing the research and then sit and compose the article. With AI, I had it literally in less than a minute. So generate topic ideas, headlines, and more. You do a Google research, and it gives you a whole slew of keywords there. So you can ask AI, to say like, hey, write me an article, based on these keywords, when they're related, and to use the keywords in there. But you have an idea sometimes, and you can't quite pinpoint the topic, so type in a few words, and ideas come up. Cultural localization. These tools can also help local businesses by adapting content to suit different cultural contexts. SEO optimization. These tools can analyze search trends and suggest relevant keywords to optimize blog posts for search engines. The tools can also provide insights into competitors and search volume, and who are you up against on there. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Additionally, they can analyze websites and blog posts to provide recommendations to improve SEO, such as optimizing meta tags and headings. So the cons, all right? Though AI is evolving, it still sounds like a computer talking, okay? Yes, both articles were informative, but they sounded like a computer wrote them. AI has no emotion, compassion, or empathy. For instance, I was writing a post on a health and wellness topic. True, scientific and medical studies and facts are available, but it doesn't know the pain a patient feels and how massage therapy can alleviate it. It has no wisdom or common sense. Besides sounding inhuman, it also has no wisdom or common sense and no personal experience. You may get duplicate content, okay? The client sent me an article that she had AI generate, and paragraphs were duplicated. And I was like, what's going on here? So you have to be careful. And so, and you can also, you're also taking the risk that other websites out there may have the exact same AI generated content. Now, that would hurt your SEO authority, and the Google search engine gives priority to the first websites published on that content. And Google also recognizes when an article is pure AI with no human input. Is it legal? Now, since you're doing a legal boot camp next week, I'm going to say, because I'm not a lawyer, but in fact, this morning I just read an article regarding copyrighted content. Okay, because it's so. The question was, is AI generated content or can you copyright AI generated content? And it's like, yes, if you put in enough human input to it so that it's yours and it's not actually duplicated elsewhere. And then, of course, if you're in a regulated industry like a law firm, financial advisor, insurance, tax, investment firm, the computer may spit out outdated or wrong information. So you have to be careful with that. Okay. Always check your sources, cite the sources, and check the links. And I've had the experience of, in fact, this was the free ChatGPT gave me outdated links and pages that no longer existed. And I said, oh, what good is this? You know, so then, in fact, I learned it in in a past boot camp that Copilot from Bing uses the ChatGPT Pro, so it's more updated. Now, Gemini is still a little outdated. I had that experience doing some research this last week. And certainly you should at least try it. But remember, you want to talk to humans, your potential customers and clients, not robots. You need to tell personal stories with compassion and empathy, especially if you're trying to solve a problem or relieve a pain point. Use your brand voice where the E comes in. Okay. You are the expert in your field, and nobody else has had your experience in the field also. Though the computer may spew out data, you still have to help your potential customer analyze it and make sense out of it. And only you have your own experience and expertise. And that's where the E guidelines come in. Use it for research, but add your own opinions, stories, experience, expertise, etc. Watch out for outdated statistics. Again, ask to cite the source, then check it. And you'll look bad if you quote something that's years old and obsolete. So just to test them, I took the same prompt for a marketing plan on both of them. Gemini was stuck in 2023. It's too new and it still needs to evolve a little bit more. It's like asking the free version of ChatGPT. And I understand ChatGPT goes like to 2022. It's even older. So again, use Copilot found on Bing.com, and then double check, triple check everything. Okay, don't just throw it up on your website thinking it's good. It's not. You still need to, double check it. Have somebody else proofread it for you if you can. If not, put it in through the AI and ask it to check grammar and so forth. That's what you need to do. All right, so let's talk of on-page optimization. So the search engine indexes whole web pages, not you have the website that's consisting of several pages. Okay, so each page is what the search engine indexes. So that's why each static page, which is like the pages with your product or services or about the company and so forth, and then subsequent blog articles or posts need to be optimized. Okay, part of the searchability or discoverability of a page is its structure. All right, so the first one, like I said, is most important is the meta title tag, okay, which is under 60 characters. And be location specific and clear on what you do. So if you're a local business, okay, you want to put that you're a restaurant in Globe, Arizona. You're a pizzeria in Globe, Arizona. Okay, so you know what you are because the name of the restaurant, Pizzeria Globe, Arizona. So you just want to make sure you want to make it clear on what it is that you do, because this is not just for the person that's searching, but for the search engine too. This is really literally what the first thing the search engine sees. And this is also what shows up on the browser tab. And don't forget that little favicon, your logo up there. Common sense navigation. This is where the good user experience, the UX or the user interface come in. Okay, if your site is hard to navigate, if it doesn't make any sense, your people are going to leave. Then you have your H1 heading, which is the second title tag. Okay, on blog articles, this also becomes the main title for the page, and on static pages too. So, and you don't want to put welcome. Okay, you got to be careful with words that take up space. Okay, On the title tag, home. Okay, that's a useless word in there. On your website, if you want to know which is the home page, it makes it easier to see. It should actually tell you that that's it on the back end, but it doesn't need to be in the title tag, because they really don't help with SEO. Then you have your subheading. So you have H2, H3, H4. It's a hierarchy. So as the number goes down, as the number goes up, I should say. So the H4 heading is the smallest one. So it's smaller and less, they're all usually bold, but it's smaller in typeface. So H2 is your main subheading under the title heading, the H1. So you want to put your major keywords in these headings. So it doesn't matter which one you're putting them in, but just you want to make sure they're there. Put the question you're answering in the H2 tag. Okay. And having this tag, and when someone's looking at your page, they're not going to know this is in the back end, but Google knows. Okay. Same thing with bullet points. It's easy for the human to read, but it also it helps to tell Google that this is important information. This is standout information from the website. Text content, again, written for the human reader, but keyword centric. Okay. Guide the visitor to convert. Okay. Match the title heading, no clickbait, mentioned that before. Then we have the meta description, which this is really crucial. And I'll talk about more with this. Okay, this is what the human searcher sees on the SERP, on the search engine results page. And this needs to entice them to click. One thing is ranking high on the SERP, but if no one clicks on the link, what good is it? Okay, if you have a hosted WordPress website, the free plugin, SEO by Yoast, which is also available for Shopify e-commerce stores, it helps you with optimizing not just your static pages, but your blog articles too. And on Shopify, it helps to optimize each product page. So for your e-commerce people, each product page has to have both the meta title tag and the meta description. Okay, and this is really important, especially on e-commerce. And then the graphics with descriptions in the alt text box when you're uploading them. This is putting the description in there. Again, usually just the search engine sees this, but also some people with disabilities, they can hover over it and it'll say what is on that graphic. Blog categories. Okay, so these are for blogs. The categories, these are not for static pages, but blog categories. Index topics, and please never use uncategorized. Okay, I go into somebody's WordPress website, I see uncategorized still there, and I was like, and anyway, blog tags. Okay, these are relevant keywords or phrases for each blog article. So you want to pick at least one or two index topics. Okay. Which are kind of the overview topic of what this blog article is about. And then the blog tags are relevant keywords or phrases that you're talking about in the article. All right. Then we have internal or external links. Okay, these are relevant links. So internal links to related content within your site or blog. So if you mention a term on which you've written about in the past, or if it's one of your services or products, link that term to the article. Then then you have the external links. Okay, and this links to other people's related or quoted content. Okay, so if you're a health and wellness site and you're quoting a medical study or something, you want to put a link to the originating website on that and make sure it opens in a new tab on there so people don't lose your website. And also you have links to your social media profiles. And please have your profiles set up correctly before you add the links to your website. I have gone into websites and click on the Instagram and it goes to Instagram. It doesn't go to the profile. You want it to go to the profile. That helps you build your social media following. But the link has to be the right link. And then share blog posts on your social media. So you write a blog article, you want to send it over to your social media. That's a whole other class. Okay, so now we have off-page SEO. These are backlinks. Okay, now this is a whole, there are people that provide these services, but it's like you can go over the top with this, but it's not that big of a deal for Google. What's more important is to get that fresh content out there. However, this does help a little bit here. So you get to show off your expertise on somebody else's website. The first easy place to go to is LinkedIn. Okay, so you can write a blog article or a blog article on your site first, then republish it on LinkedIn a few days later. So this gives the authority to your website. It's really important that you do that. Then there's Quora. Okay, Quora is a Q&A site. So you want to know what people are asking about in your industry, great place. So you answer the question in a couple of paragraphs, then you add a link to an article on your website for more information. Then there's featured.com. Okay, for free, you get to write 3 articles a month. And these are short articles answering questions. And you can set your account up to be emailed whenever a publication is looking for whatever it is in your field or industry. Guest posting on related blog or site. Okay, associations, memberships, and community websites, especially if you're local. Social media profiles. And then there's Reddit. Reddit. Okay, so a consumer study came out with some interesting findings. 47% of people find traditional search results irrelevant during product research. Consumers are increasingly abandoning traditional search engines for community-based product research. Reddit claims peer recommendations are gaining more trust than influencer marketing and paid advertising. Community discussions are becoming more influential in consumer purchase decisions. 42% of social media users value Reddit recommendations over other sources, including influencer-sponsored posts, branded ads, and even some expert reviews. 6 Reddit posts are said to match the reach of an Instagram influencer with 100,000 followers. Yeah, think of it this way. Reddit users are real people, not paid influencers. Reddit launched in June of 2005. So it's going to be 20 years old. Personally, I never understood Reddit. In the 13 years that I've been in business, only one person told me they found my business on Reddit where someone recommended my services. But here's the kicker. Last year, Google started indexing Reddit posts, and they come up at the top of the SERPs, okay, at the top of the search results page. So it's, I get tired of trying to figure Google out, all right? So over 1 billion posts in 16 plus billion comments. Reddit has 76 million daily active users who spend an average of 16 minutes on the site. And on average, 1 million posts are added to Reddit each day. Reddit has a diverse user base across age groups, genders, and socioeconomic backgrounds with more than 100,000 active communities. Those are subreddits. But it's like any other community-based platform like Facebook or LinkedIn groups. It takes time and effort to build a community. So I don't have time to get into Reddit right now, but it's a platform you need to investigate. And I hope to be doing a boot camp session on Reddit soon. I'm going to be doing an article on my website also, so you can get on my email list or follow me on social media so you don't miss this information on Reddit. But it is something you need to look into. All right, so let's talk the Google Search Console. So where do I get all this data and information from, and how do I read this stuff? All right, so the Google Search Console, it's part of Google Analytics, and it gives you valuable data on your website's ranking in the search. Okay, here's what you need to look for in the Google Search Console. So you're going to look for organic impressions. So this tells you how often you came up in organic, again, non-paid searches. Then you have organic clicks. So this shows how many searchers actually clicked on the link to visit your website. Click-through rate. Okay, this is the number of clicks divided by the number of impressions shown as a percentage. Then you have your organic average position. This shows where you came up in Google search. And so the smaller the number, the higher your page ranked. Then you also have your top performing pages. Okay, this gives you a list of the most popular pages on your websites and blog posts. Okay, and this is valuable information because this tells you what Google is, what people are searching for that's leading them to your website. Okay, so you want to make sure these pages are as optimized as possible, that all the images work, that everything looks good, and share these a little extra on social media. Because it's questions that people are asking for, and Google's giving them your website. So it's like, wow. All right. So I pulled this report for a client, Ripple Training, and in fact, Jill is on this call, my client. So I'm giving her a shout out here. They do tutorials for video editing software, Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve, and Apple's Motion. Therefore, they want to rank for the software name and the word tutorials, course, or training. So I started in their Google Search Console, but I wanted to sort the results in Google Sheets to better analyze this. So this is what the report tells me. So naturally, if someone knows the name of your company, and you Google the name of a company, you should come up first and have a high click-through rate as shown by the highlighted row. Okay, but look at the top one, DaVinci Resolve Training. That's exactly what they offer. It had 1,758 impressions and only 15 clicks. Wow, that means they lost 1,743 potential customers. And their position was number 5. Who doesn't want to be in number 5? Okay, and not, you know, the problem is don't feel bad that because you don't know what you don't know. So we literally didn't make a mistake here by not having the meta description, because that's where the problem was. So the page for DaVinci Resolve Training didn't have a meta description. So Google pulled the first paragraph on the page, which really didn't say anything that would tell an interested searcher that they had DaVinci Resolve Training. And it's the same thing for some of the other search queries. So you might be thinking, okay, so what is an average organic click-through rates for industry? So you're invited to take a screenshot of this, because I can't go through this whole list. I don't have the time. But this is a chart from CXL, and it's a guide to the click-through rate that you should strive for depending on your industry. So my client, who falls under education and instruction, which is line number 7, needs to shoot for a solid 6% click-through rate for educational sites. Note too that most of these industries are highly competitive, which means you really need to research your competition and see who's ranking above you in the SERPs. Okay. All right, so the fix. So this is the all popular, all important meta description. So remember our pie chart on what Google takes into account for ranking. Titles were the second highest term. And this image is from my WordPress website and the Yoast SEO free plugin. So first, again, it's the SEO title, which is under 60 characters. Okay, and you want to keep it so that it doesn't get cut off by the search engine. So if you get, start putting every single location that you serve, you're going to get cut off. Okay, it's under 60 characters. And then you want to put that an eye-catching image. And this is the featured image. It's called a featured image. It's called a hero image, depending on what platform you're on. And then the description written for the human searcher. Okay, so it's the paragraph that comes up in search that helps the searcher decide if your website has what they're looking for. But don't overstuff it with keywords, because again, you only have 150 to 160 characters. You don't want, because then what Google does, it'll cut it off and put ... and the last sentence won't make any sense because it gets cut off. So So it's really important, but you always want to make sure that you've got your relevant keyword or phrase in both the title tag and in the meta description. And again, the meta description is 2 to 3 sentences. Okay, you don't want it to get cut off. So then you've got your top performing pages. Okay, so this is from the Google Sitekit plugin on WordPress. So if you have a WordPress website, this is again a great plugin to give you a quick overview of what your most popular pages are. So the top one is the home page, the slash. So it doesn't, and it says not set. So, it doesn't, I'm really not sure what that means. To be honest, I have to dig into Google a little bit more to tell you that. But I can see which ones are coming up, and and sessions are how many people actually click through and visited the page. So apparently everybody wants to know what's going on X. So that means I need to update my X articles because it has changed so much since Elon Musk took it over from Twitter. So I have to update that. And then marketing on Facebook has made a lot of changes since my last article on Facebook. And then a simple question: do I have to follow back everyone who follows me on social media? And so I was like, okay, so I just want to update, I just want to go into those pages every so often and make sure they're updated, make sure that it doesn't have outdated information or anything. But it tells me what's important, to the searchers. And if you go to the Google Search Console, you can actually go down to 50 pages, so it depends on, how big your website is and so forth. Okay, let's talk competition. Part of your research is checking on your competition. So what are they doing online? Where do they come up in Google compared to you? Okay, you want to look at the 5th to 10th spot. Because you remember what the AI overviews, they take the top 10 spots. They take information from there. So you want to see what you need to do to knock them down and put yourself above them. So if they're blogging once a week, you need to blog 2 to 3 times a week to get your content above theirs. Okay, are they active on social media? How many followers do they have? Okay, how often are they blogging and posting? So you have to do more than what they're doing and better. All right, this is where the challenge is, because if you're in a highly competitive industry, you've got your work cut out for you. All right. You may have some formidable competitors, so it might take a little extra strategizing, which comes down to then weigh your options. Okay. You might want to outsource your content creation if you have the budget. How much is your time worth? Okay. So you definitely, and then you want to plan it out. Without a plan written out, you will be overwhelmed. So start with SMART goals on what you want to accomplish with your content marketing in the next 30 days, and do it month to month so they're easier to handle that way. And you could check your analytics at the end of each month and see what's working and not working. And the strategic plan is how you're going to accomplish the goals. The tactical plan is detailing how you're going to implement the strategies, basically your to-do list. So let's go real quick through what you need to do to rank. Okay, you want to have a great user experience, or UX, streamlined navigation, secure website, fast loading, fix errors, deliver fresh, helpful, relevant, oriented content at least weekly. Okay, optimize pages and blog posts for Google, the meta tags, internal linking related links, focus on content structure and readability, headings, bullet points, and short paragraphs. Mobile first indexing, build high quality backlinks in different places, and check your analytics monthly. Okay. Some of this takes time and effort and sweat equity. Okay. If you find that even with these improvements and implementations, give it 3 months. Okay. And this is organic. So you're not really spending any money unless you're hiring somebody to help you with this. Okay, and you're still not getting results, and you may want to delve into some technical SEO, which is a whole other story. All right. The thing is, don't feel bad. Okay. The easy website builders make it sound easy to build a website, but they don't tell you that it takes a lot more than if you build it, they will come. Okay. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and never stop learning, just like attending webinars, like like this. And of course, following me on social media. Ask questions now. You can follow me. I share up-to-date articles from several trusted sources daily on LinkedIn and Facebook, on X too. YouTube, I have a lot of webinars, videos that I've done in there, and I've got to update some. Yes, I do, but they've got the basics in there. And articles on my website. This QR code will get you the Define Your Target Market workbook, which is the first step for everything. And you'll be getting a PDF of the slides, which on the last page I actually have some links to some of the tools that I use: the Google Search Console, Google Analytics, etc. And then of course this ask me questions. So we've got some time, so we could do questions.
All righty, we have one question in there, Giselle. It says, what did SMART stand for?
Oh, SMART goals. Add it up there. Good. SMART. Oh, SMART. Get my SMART goals thing up again. Okay.
Strategic, measurable,
attainable, relevant, and time bound. Okay, yep. So like a specific goal, like for my client, for instance, would be trying to get to 6% click-through rate within 30 days, which it might take a little longer than that. I would put that one at 3 months. Okay. You know, so, cause right now she's below like 1%. So, I would say shooting for, you know, like 2% maybe for the first month. It may make it surprised. And it can, you know, you can get, you know, start getting results right away. You never know, depending on your industry. You know, you really never know. But that's the idea, because you want to make sure they make sense. The goals make sense to you and they're attainable. You know, like I want to get 1,000 Instagram followers, and you know, and it's like, well, that's probably not going to happen in 30 days. You know, you got to shoot for 100, right? So that you can start seeing in your Instagram page. You can start seeing some, you know, data on your followers once you reach 100.
Okay. Got another good question. It says, what social media platform is good for discovering keywords?
None. That's a Google keyword tool. That's part of Google Ads, and it's available for free. And there's some others. SEMrush is another one. That's a separate thing. What you can do on social media is hashtags, you know, and seeing what the most popular hashtags are on Instagram, on X. It's easy to do too, and see how many people are talking about a certain hashtag and what's trending and so forth. So hashtags are technically keywords with the pound sign in front of them, you know. So you know, so don't. And like hashtags don't work on websites; they work on the social media network, so that people can follow hashtags on LinkedIn and on Instagram, and then you can search for specific hashtags also, and you want to consistently use them. But that again is another class. Yeah, that's covered in the Digital Academy, by the way.
Yeah. So we got another last one here as we're running out of time, but we want to ask this. It says, is it better to put yourself in second person or first person on your website?
Technically, when you're writing your bio, you can, it's usually used as a second or third person is seeing it, like, you know, she was, you know, when you're putting, you know, I have a degree, and so it's a little bit, you know, a little over the top, but when you're writing an article, you know, and you can say, well, one of my clients recently had this experience and I helped them do this, and this. You know, one of my patients had this and I helped them do this, and this. In that sense, yes. You know, so now, yeah, so that would be the differentiation. Yeah.
Okay, well, we are right at time. There are a few other questions, but we'll try to get those over to Giselle to respond to you individually. or you can, many of them will be answered in the Digital Academy if you want to attend that. So that is open. Also, many people asked about this session. It is being recorded. The recording will be available on the boot camp webpage later today or tomorrow, along with the slide deck. And so you can access that anytime once it's posted. So Giselle, thank you for being on with us again. We appreciate it. And we know you'll be
Thank
part
you
of
for
the
having
Academy.
me. I love it.
I want to thank everybody for attending. We hope you benefited from this, and we hope to see you next Tuesday at our next boot camp. Until then, everybody have a great week. Thank you.